My name is Harry. I live at Berkshire Place, and basically we purchased a townhome 2 years ago now. And I would first say that if I would known of the issues that are in these buildings that we're finding, I never would have gotten out of the car to even live at this place, never even bothered to look at it, because I would never have dreamt that I would be purchasing this many issues in a building that was built in 2011, which is basically just over 4 years old. To start with, when it was first brought to our attention, both me and my wife, it was about some water issues, migration issues, that there was being found in the complex. My unit is basically an N unit, was chosen to be one of the ones where they were able to do a lot more exploratory into it, where we basically have been living through destructive exploration, which means that they've tore off the side of the house basically, and just to find the errors that were built when they built the place, which starts with the plaster and the work. Basically, the way it's been, I understand to this date, they've basically utilized proper materials. However, that anybody that put the materials in had no idea how to build it. Everything was installed incorrectly. People basically didn't understand what they're doing. They certainly weren't supervised with what they're doing, and it certainly wasn't inspected for what they were doing, because these are simple details. The reason I say they're simple is because I know. I've been in the construction industry and commercial construction, and I've also built my own houses, more than one, for over 37 years. So I do have a clear understanding of how things are to be built. The worst thing is about things like this is when you're at the finished state, it's all concealed. So that's where you don't see it unless you uncover it. So with this water migration, basically we've gotten a lot of water built into the house, where the plaster is cracking, the wire mesh is basically rotting, it's rusting. The studs, the floor joists, the rim joists behind it are starting to rot away. So I would say in some examples of the 2x4s in the walls, we've already got 20%, 25% lost just in a particular stud. What comes behind that is what we started noticing just when we took a picture off the wall of our house, is now we got mold. In our walls, we got mold. We got mold in our bathrooms upstairs, behind the mirrors, behind the pictures. And now we have to contend with that also. This is to a point where we live in the place. When we have our grandchildren coming in, we have concerns about them coming in, visitors coming in. Now we're going to put them into a place where we have a lot of potential issues with mold for bringing everybody into the house. After we also got in to explore the water damage, what was discovered as they were tearing off all of the rotten wood, the rotten sheeting, is the floor joists that held up the second floor are bearing on the CMU walls and first floor, but the TIG floor joists, when they started looking at those, there's some improper installations with those also. And one of the most concerning is when they run their mechanical, the plumbing, the electrical, the heat ducts, they use the TIG, which is a solid type floor joist, and they cut openings in it, which are so large that they basically have done destructive. They're not a bearing load anymore. In time, short time, that will show more than excessive cracking, and it will fail because they're not designed that way. They didn't follow again. It comes right back to the installation where individuals didn't care, don't know what to do, and they certainly weren't supervised. And again, they certainly were not followed up inspections when anybody went this before they covered it back up, because they have exceeded all of the manufacturer's recommendations. If you've got a 16-inch floor joist, and I'd say there's openings in there that are cut at excess of 10 to 12 inches, which means you basically have nothing else holding up your floors. And this is in our primary bathroom up on the second floor. So it's, again, I wish I had the x-ray vision when I looked in this place, when I was looking at it. We liked the neighborhood. We liked the looks of it. Basically, lipstick and cosmetics cover up everything, because it certainly happened on this one.